Customer engagement platform Braze recently announced its fourth quarter and full year earnings. And the company did exceed revenue estimates, upped its full year outlook, saw 33% revenue growth year on year, and reached $500 million in committed annual recurring revenue. The company's CEO, Bill Magnuson, joins me now to give us a deeper dive into these results, what it means for the publicly traded company. Bill, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
We're happy to have you here on the show. And so what do investors need to know here as your company begins a new fiscal year, a new fiscal quarter?
Yeah, absolutely. So Braze is a customer engagement platform, and we work with primarily B2C brands to help them forge stronger relationships with their customers. The way that we do that is by integrating into their products and services. That integration gives us data to understand what those customers care about the most, and then we dispatch messages and modify the product and personalize all the content within those in order to be a companion to the customer journey and help drive better results for brands in the form of better, faster activation, more customer advocacy, more customer loyalty, increased purchases, and also avoiding churn. So really throughout the entire customer lifecycle. To put some numbers on that, we actually dispatched over 2 trillion messages and other sorts of orchestration actions last year. We processed over 7 trillion incoming API requests. So doing this at absolutely tremendous scale. You mentioned the $500 million in annual recurring revenue from a financial scale perspective. And we're really excited to start this year.
Which brands do the most business with you?
So we were really happy to announce, I can't share the name, but a large media conglomerate just became our first 8-figure annual customer in Q4, and so that was an exciting thing to share. We work across a lot of different verticals, and we mentioned a few of those brands on the call, companies like Wendy's, DoorDash, AB InBev, DraftKings, FanDuel. We also work all over the world. So 44% of our revenue comes from outside of the United States. And I talked through some examples of that as well. So really, you can see a lot of diversification across different company types and all over the world. And that's really a testament to the fact that Braze works on a very core business problem, which is just how do I create better relationships with my customer and use that in order to drive additional value for my business.
What are the customer trends that you're noticing right now across your diversified portfolio?
Yeah, so I think one of the really big ones is continuing to connect with the reality that the customer journey today is really one that is in the hands of the consumer. So a lot of kind of marketing automation around the space in the past really talked about the customer journey as if it was something that the marketing itself was driving. You were orchestrating the journey. I think that with a modern consumer who's always on, who wants to be able to access your products and services on their terms. They're doing so in a way that is nonlinear and is cross-platform. So they're moving from web to email to mobile to in-person to connected devices, connected cars, connected fitness products, et cetera. There's all these different ways that a consumer is going to interact with you and places where they want to have the experience of your product or service delivered to them or augmented. And so the biggest trend, I think, is really meeting that consumer where they are. But that consumer, of course, is more and more demanding over time. They want to have relevance in communications they get from brands. They want all of these different channels that they're interacting on to be connected and to be cohesive. They don't want to have siloed experiences where the left hand is not talking to the right hand from a brand perspective. And so really helping marketers and in general customer engagement teams connect together all of the understanding they have about the customer, all the opportunities they have to speak to them, drive additional relevance and cohesion across that.
$4.5 billion company that I see. And my next question, Bill, is specifically how you want to grow the company this year on the back of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely. So we actually are, continue to invest very heavily in R&D. We're actively hiring across both adding in new sales capacity for this year already in Q1, as well as continue to expand in R&D. On the earnings call last night, I spoke through our AI investments, and they run across a broad spectrum. We're trying to do, largely 2 things. One of them is make marketers more productive so that they can bring their ideas to life more quickly. They can get more creative inspiration by interacting with Gen AI assistants. They can help check things like tone. They can do so in ways where they're generating new variants and new experiments that have brand safety and that where they can have the right tone of voice. while still being able to localize in more regions around the world. So when you kind of think about that job of the modern marketer and what we demand of them as they're trying to evolve their own strategies over time, it's a really global and diverse problem, and one that many marketing teams are understaffed for. So when we're talking about improving marketer productivity, a lot of that is about doing more with the same size team, because I think a lot of these teams actually today are relatively stretched for resources. And then the second side is really using that artificial intelligence to drive additional performance in the results. And so I spoke about one example of that last night, using new transformer-based AI technology to be able to do a better recommendation of whether or not it's catalog options if you're media and streaming, maybe looking at a product catalog if you're a commerce company, different service recommendations, or maybe you are language learning, or you're doing fitness apps and you're trying to recommend new exercises or new tutorials or courses to people. There's been obviously a lot of different ways that recommendation has been done in the past. We were excited to share yesterday that we put into general availability a version of that is based on transformers, where transformer really being the T in ChatGPT, brand new technology that we're able to put into the back end of those recommendation engines. And I shared an example last night where one of our customers was actually able to triple the occurrence of purchases during news or onboarding by doing a better job of generating those recommendations when they're introducing a new customer to the brand over time. And so that's a great example where we can combine together the additional productivity with these assistants and co-pilots. And then we also just drive better bottom line results through having better technology that's driving the personalization.
Mm-hmm. How much money is artificial intelligence able to save your business or make your business?
We think that it's a really important part of differentiation. Braze has always differentiated within the kind of broader marketing automation and customer engagement landscape by the sophistication of our capabilities. And I think that when you look at the co-pilot side and the productivity enhancements, what we're able to do is get more marketers using more of Braze's advanced functionality more quickly. So that's really fantastic for us from an adoption standpoint and helping grow the community of people that use Braze every day. That helps speed up our sales team. It helps speed up our onboardings. It helps our customers get more ROI out of Braze more quickly and more easily, even if they have small teams and they're trying to be small but mighty from that perspective. And then, from a dollars perspective, if we go back to the example of enhancing performance, there's a lot of money left on the table by messaging that's just disjoint or not relevant to customers. You can think about yourself as a consumer. You probably receive emails and push notifications and SMS and messages every single day that might as well have not been sent to you. And that is not only a waste of expense, it's a waste of the kind of brand trust that is there. The customer, is being trained to not necessarily respond to those messages much. And the brands are also missing out on opportunities to really drive more sales and create more advocacy and more brand affinity over time. And so I think that, we can put a kind of short-term dollar number on that in terms of revenue and purchases. But the bigger thing that I think gets lost because brands don't deliver relevance in those moments where they have an opportunity to communicate with the customer is that they're losing that ability to cement a relationship with the customer over time.
So let me ask you this. How much money will artificial intelligence save your business? Quantify it for us.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put an exact dollar number on that, but we're definitely speeding up the ability to onboard new employees into Braze. I think that so far a lot of the generative work is not replacing tenured expertise, but it is helping new people come up to speed faster by helping them navigate complicated information environments more quickly. And so that's been fantastic for us to see as we're growing our business. We're able to get new people productive faster, and we're able to also help a employee that maybe needed to be more specialized in a certain part of the business because the amount of advanced training that they needed was much higher, be able to work in a broader aspect of it because they're able to navigate the information environment more effectively.
All right, CEO of Braze, Bill Magnuson. Braze is a publicly traded company. Bill, thank you for joining.